Alright, we're in the piney woods. In the deserts. Little one there. Yeah. It's a beautiful pine right there. Fortunately, the airplanes are trying to mess things up for us once again. So they always are. There they are, trying to mess things up. Wasn't for the airplanes, probably would be a clear day today, but all kinds of contrails in the sky again today. Yeah, I don't know if you can see all those contrails, but there's like 3 or 4 of them there. This planes are just really messing things up today for us, unfortunately. This is the bike trail here. Shouldn't be walking on, but I am anyway. Look at the desert from this angle. This is nice. Oh, there's some color. There's some foliage. There's some from the Scarlet Oaks, you know. We're back on this trail again, heading to the contrails just up in annoying. It's all. There's 2 of them up there. You know, supposed to be a clear day. You'd think yesterday, or between yesterday and today, we would have clear weather. Nope. Well, I got into this spot here, bushwhacking again, because there's some nice colors here. Scarlet Oak right there. At least we got some foliage, and at least the oaks are giving us something. So that's good, I guess. Gotta have some foliage, you know. It's ice there. It's ice. Look at that ice there. That shows you how cold it is today, if you don't believe me. That, well, it is above freezing now, but this morning it was quite cold. Yeah, look at those shapes. Yeah, you got all this ice here. You can see the. Gotta be careful walking on the trail. Wasn't expecting that in November. Yeah. Ah, it's really piney here. Yeah, the sky's really starting to go south now. Cirrus is starting to move in. Still can't get one clear day, you know, but what are you gonna do, you know? So, some election day, I'll tell you. A lot of people not happy with Trump. Well, because he hasn't kept his promises, man, you know? He said he was gonna close the borders, build the wall, get rid of the illegals, start rebuilding America's infrastructure, put an end to immigration from dangerous countries. And he's not doing any of that now. He went back on his word even with the refugee program. He said he wasn't going to allow that many more refugees in. Now he's going to continue the amount that Obama had. So it's yeah. Guy hasn't kept his word one bit. He's turned out to be just the kind of elitist. So when you look at the kind of people he put in his administration, like Kushner and stuff, just the kind of elitist that he said he wasn't going to be. You know, and I think people saw through it, and that's why they voted Democrat, but it's not always the right thing to do. And it's one of the ways I am a Trump. It would not make me vote for somebody like Phil Murphy or Bill DeBlasio, because they're so far to the left. I mean, Phil Murphy is like if you mix the Bill DeBlasio with John Corzine. You know, and he's gonna ruin New Jersey. It's gonna make it expensive, so only rich people can live there. And for the people who aren't rich, you know, he's going to allow all the illegals in to terrorize them. And you have to be rich if you want to live somewhere that's free of illegals. Similar to what they're doing here in New York, so that's what they're doing. Maybe his environmental record will be a little better than Christie. Maybe I'll put a stop. Christie pissed a lot of people off because of his attitude, and he pissed a lot of people off even down south because of the pipeline. You know, he basically, the Pinelands Commission originally rejected, they wanted to put this gas pipeline through the Pine Barrens, and he basically put people on the Pinelands Commission who would approve the pipeline, which is pretty disgraceful. So maybe Phil Murphy can resource that. Maybe there's some good that can come out of it. I don't know. That's an Earth star right there. Some kind of fungus. Really weird. Strange. Here's another one. I gotta get used to the fact that the sun is a little lower in the sky too. That's for sure. And that is British soldier lichen right there. This is so inconsiderate. Look at this. See, the people flying kites here. Look at this, leaving this string everywhere. So let's look at that. It's wrapped around that seedling there. Let's see if we can. I'm gonna see if I can dispose of this. I'm gonna see if I can get this out of here because this is trash. This stuff, it's trash. It's all over the park. I mean, all throughout the park, this stuff is hanging on trees and stuff, and I'm going to remove it. So, I mean, look at all this. Birds could get caught in this. It's from people flying kites in the airfield, which I don't even know if they're allowed to do. But if you lose a kite, you should go and clean it up, you know, and just leaving it in the environment. It's very inconsiderate. Anyway, I'll carry this with me and dispose of it, I guess, somewhere in the garbage somewhere. Probably not here, obviously, but. Look at these great shapes here, man. There you go. Nothing but great shapes here. That's weird spotted wintergreen right there. Just look at those buds on it. I don't know why it has that. Still has the buds. Looks like some kind of fruit or something on there. I don't know. I didn't know wintergreen got that. I know it has flowers, but that should happen way long ago. There's the radio. There's the tower here. There's this tower in here, but it's weird because there's no actual trails that go to it. No trails that go to it. You know, it's just really weird. I'm not back on the trail again, but it's really weird that there's not a path to this huge tower here. How could there not be a path? How could there not be a path to it? I just don't understand it. There's trails all around it, but no path. Really strange. I'm gonna look at this tower again. I can't even. I mean, imagine this tower has to have a light on it because it's pretty high up. I mean, but how the hell will they maintain it if there's no trail that goes to it? That's what I don't understand. We're gonna actually look a little more and see if I can find that trail. There's got to be a path that goes to it. There was a bike path here. Let's see if this will take us to it. Maybe it'll take us close to it. I gotta see if we can find it, because I really want to see where that tower is like up close. No, this was not an RCA property like Rocky Point. Ah, god damn it. More of those. Look, you can see more of that damn kite string again. Look at that. I wouldn't even know how to get that out. I don't know if you can pick it up on camera. Can you see it? Tower's over there, but no, it's no path to it. It's really, I'm gonna just walk on all the trails around and see if I can find something, but if I can't, I can't. I'll just head back. But I'm just curious. There's that bearberry. It's really weird how there could be a tower like that and no path to it. I understand it's been abandoned probably, but there should still be a path that went to it. That even if it's overgrown, there should still be something. A tower in the middle of the woods with no way to it is really strange. That's for sure. There's pure pitch pine over here. This is a mature forest of old pitch pines here. You can see that. It's nice. Tell you, this would look really nice after a snowfall. You come into these areas of pure pitch pine and it would look really nice. Yeah. It's that quiet. Wow. Well, I can't find a path to that, and I'm just gonna start heading back, I guess. I gotta find the next trail to take me south, because I think I'm heading, judging by the sun, it looks like I'm heading east, so I definitely gotta make a right. Alright, making a right here. There's the sun. Alright, so I know that's southwest. So, always gotta know, you look at the time, and you know where the sun is gonna be in the sky. It's one way you can find the direction of that compass. Alright, I've come to a fork now, so I think I'm going to go this way. I think, was this the trail I was on before? No, I don't think so. I don't know. We'll have to see. Just kind of wandering around here aimlessly. Sort of. I don't think I was on this one. No, this is a different one. No, this is a different trail. Yeah. Definitely a different trail. Where's that hole for? Huh. No idea. You know, I bet that's somehow related to the tower. I bet that's somehow related to the tower. There's something else that's interesting. Never noticed before. It's a curve here, which means there must have been a road here at one time. As in a paved road. Alright, there's that trail, which I know will take us back to the spot we were before, you know, that open area. You know, with all the younger pines. Let's go this way. I'm gonna go this way. Oh, you see that? Looked like a little step here. Interesting. We're gonna take this trail, so it'll take us back. It's gonna take us back west, which is definitely a direction we need to be heading in, so. Yeah, we're in that open area now. This is where they're flying the kites. I mean, it's a ways away. I don't know how the kites get over there, but that's where the string is coming from. I guess they lose the kite. It goes flying off into the woods, I guess. Really, I don't know. It's crazy. It's got to be, at least I got one of the strings. I'll try to come here. Every time I see one, I'll try to pick it up and get it out of here. Because we're here at Edgewood Preserve, and it's a very cold day. Unfortunately, there's some some of those blasted contrails in the sky again. I just want to talk about some of my, opinions on some of the things going on in the news lately. Some of the things going on here on YouTube. And I guess I'll start with the news first. We had an election that really kind of sent a message to our president, or maybe it didn't send a message to our president. I remain very disappointed in our president right now. Do I regret voting for him? No, I don't regret voting for him, because I still think Hillary Clinton would have been much worse. But what I am going to tell you is that I think that the job he's doing stinks, all right, and that he hasn't kept any of his words on anything. And I think that's why we saw what we saw on Election Day. He said he was going to get rid of the illegals. They're still here. They're all over the place. I am so lucky, and I'll say it again, that I got out of Westbury. I feel bad for those who haven't gotten out yet, but I am so lucky and so grateful. I literally am grateful every single day I get up that I'm living in a safe place, in a safe town with normal people, and it's just so much better than where I was at. So anyway, getting back to what I was saying, he hasn't kept his word on getting rid of the illegals. He's gone back on that. He said he was going to build the wall. Nope, that's not happening either. He said he was going to rebuild the infrastructure. Nope, that's not happening. He said he was going to end DACA. That's not happening. He said he was going to put an end to all these refugees coming into the country, many of whom may be terrorists. No, he hasn't done that either. The only things he's done is geared to the elitists by putting in more elitists, the very kind of elitists he said he ran against, the very kind of people he ran against, the very kind of people who, said they were going to, they're going to basically help the richest people in this country get away with what they've always been getting away with. People like Jared Kushner, all these elitists he's put in there. So what you have is a president basically who went back on everything. So the voters were very annoyed with that, and they saw through that, and I think that's part of the reason why we've seen a lot of Republicans lose. Republicans really blew it in this election. And this affects everything because sometimes, even though you're annoyed with the job that the president is doing, it doesn't mean that you should go ahead and vote for somebody like Bill DeBlasio. All the people in New York City were complaining about Bill DeBlasio, yet they reelect him. All the people in New Jersey should have remembered how horrible John Corzine was. No, instead, they vote for a John Corzine mutation. This guy, Phil Murphy, is like a mutation of John Corzine and Bill DeBlasio. So imagine that. What the people in New Jersey are going to be dealing with. They're going to be dealing with a lot of problems. And it's a shame because New Jersey, I actually looked at the map, and New Jersey actually is very divided with how it voted. Part of it voted for, Phil Murphy, the commuter area and stuff, and then part of it voted for Kim Guadagno. Kim Guadagno is actually pretty popular in Ocean County, so at least the folks in Toms River were able to try to fight this, but there just wasn't enough. And I think because Christie pissed off a lot of people, including myself, because his environmental record stinks. All right, anyone who thinks he has a great environmental record needs to think again, because that man has when the Pine Barrens Commission voted against this gas pipeline going through the Pine Barrens in New Jersey, and then because he got paid off and because he's corrupt, stacked the Pine Barrens Commission in favor of this pipeline that they want to build, and it hasn't been built yet, and they're trying to stop it. Some towns might be trying to stop it, but I think that I don't know if Phil Murphy will be any better in this regard. Maybe Phil Murphy will put a stop to it. Maybe at least there is some silver lining, and the guy will, take protecting the Pine Barrens a little more seriously. Christie, actually, I'm not saying New Jersey did a bad job, but Christie was trying to undo all the protections that the Pine Barrens have in New Jersey, and I think that was very wrong of him to do. And the last straw was when the state parks were closed and he just sat on the beach like, well, I'm the governor, I can go here. You know, I mean, the guy is a freaking idiot. He just showed himself to be a selfish prick. All right, I'm sorry to say. As far as the city goes with Bill DeBlasio, it pisses me off because you have all these city people moving out here, raising the prices of everything, and they're saying they're fleeing Bill DeBlasio because the crime's up, the taxes are up, the quality of life's down, and yet you still reelected him. So my message to all the people in New York City, and it may be mean, sit there and deal with it. We don't want you out here. We have enough of you out here as it is. All right? We don't want any more of you out here. All right? Now, getting to the elections here on Long Island, I voted for Jack Martins because he said he was going to end the contract with Transdev. Now, Laura Curran, in the beginning, before she started running for county executive, was very involved in the nice bus situation. Very involved in it. And originally, that's who I was going to vote for. I was going to vote for Laura Curran. All right? But what happened was, when she started running for county executive, she completely forgot about us. You know, she completely forgot about the bus situation. Instead of using it to an advantage and using this campaign to say, look at how Ed Mangano screwed all the bus riders in Nassau County and screwed all the bus employees, she never did that. Instead, she just said she was going to end corruption. Well, and you know, something, whatever what happened happened. All right, I think that whatever it is, I think Curran will be an improvement still, and I congratulate Laura Curran, even though I didn't vote for her. All right, I congratulate her. Maybe having a woman in charge of this county will mean more compassion. Maybe. Well, Nassau. I'm in Suffolk right now, but having a woman in charge of Nassau County maybe will mean more compassion. I don't know. Maybe she'll be that kind of compassionate woman, or maybe not. Maybe she'll turn out to be a snobby one. I don't know. But anyway, I'm hoping. She says she wants to end corruption. Laura, if you want to end corruption, start with getting Transdev out. All right, they're the example of corruption. Ed Mangano is the worst thing he ever did to the people in Nassau County was privatize the damn buses. They should be put in public hands, back with the MTA where it belongs. All right, and if for some reason MTA does not want to come back, then it should be publicly run. But Transdev needs to be out. All right, they're horrible. They don't maintain the buses, and the breakdowns just getting out of control. And it's something I continue to talk about on this channel. You know, it's hard to avoid this subject of politics when you're dealing with a bus system that's falling apart. You know, so I'm hoping there'll be some improvement. I think there will be some improvement. I really would like to think. I'm going to try to be optimistic, even though I think that Jack probably would have maybe done a better job with getting, because he said he was going to get rid of the contract with Transdev. He was against privatization of essential public services, whereas Laura Curran said she might support it if it means no degradation in quality of service. Clearly, there's been a degradation in bus service since it's been privatized. So that's the thing with the buses and the Nassau elections, and I think that, again, people in Nassau were fed up with Mangano. So, you know, Martins was a Nassau Republican connected to the same party as Mangano, and I think it was hard for me to vote for him because of that too, all right? You know, but when he said those magic words, getting rid of Transdev, that is the magic words for me. But hopefully Laura will do the same. As far as the election in town of Hempstead goes, wow, Santino lost, and Laura Gillian won the election. So, I think Laura Gillian? I think it's another Laura. I forgot. I don't know what her first name was. I think it was Laura Gillian. But she won the election, too. Traditional Republican stronghold that's never elected a Democratic town supervisor ever. All right? And then I think we have good news for the Pine Barrens in Suffolk County because Sean Walter, the tree hater, has lost the Riverhead town supervisor election. Yes, finally, he was voted out. You know, the guy has allowed so much development in Riverhead, so much destruction in Riverhead. I think people finally had enough and said, no, we're not having any more of this. And they voted for a Democrat. I forgot her name, too. I'm sorry if I can't remember all these names. I really am. But I just wanted to give you my thoughts on the election and my thoughts, everything. And as far as the direction of what I do here, you know, I will never shut down completely here. I'm just scaling it back. And it's not like, but when I see something wrong in the news, even though I don't do too much politics, when I see something wrong, I'm going to continue to talk about it, because, especially with Nice Bus, and especially with the destruction of the Pine Barrens, those kind of things, people ask, where do you stand politically? And I'm just going to leave it at this. I am a conservative. And as a conservative, I believe in conserving our quality of life. Whether that means enforcing the laws, word for word, all right? Enforcing them fairly. I believe in conserving our environment as well. This is something that is not shared by people on the right, that should be shared by people on the right. That means conserving our environment, preserving our Pine Barrens, or whatever kind of an ecosystem that's available, and preserving our atmosphere by trying to stop global warming. And this is something that the right doesn't want to do. The right wants to keep drilling for oil. And we've got to stop burning fossil fuels. We have seen what's going on with our climate. It has gone crazy. So we got to stop burning fossil fuels, especially oil. The only fuel that I think the only fossil fuel that we should be burning is natural gas. And the reason why that is, natural gas is methane. And all the methane that is starting to escape in the Arctic, we need to come up with a way to capture it. Instead of it getting into the atmosphere, let's capture that methane and let's use it as fuel, because methane is basically natural gas. Let's use that as fuel. It's better to burn it than it is to let it go into the atmosphere. All right? So at least we can use that for energy. Nuclear energy, solar energy, wind, geothermal. There's so many different sources of energy. We should not be burning gasoline anymore, all right? And I think that we have so many possibilities that we should be looking into as far as fuel goes. Gasoline, oil-based products need to be phased out. That's something, obviously, our president doesn't want to do. That's the way I feel about that. As conservative, I believe in conserving our environment. This is something that should be shared by conservatives across the country, all right? And also as a conservative, I believe the government should restrain itself from interfering with people's rights and civil liberties. This is a big problem here at YouTube, and it's something I want to touch on, because a lot of people, some of the channels I watch, including Cody's Lab, he actually almost lost his YouTube account because of, basically the people that run YouTube are very liberal, and it's shown time and time again that they want to demonetize and take down videos that are leaning toward the right. And they call themselves progressive, yet it's not very progressive to go and interfere with somebody else's speech just because you don't agree with it. And this is a big problem at YouTube, Google, and a lot of places in corporate America today. And I wanted to touch on that. But anyway, as far as what I do here, you can expect hopefully more Pine Barrens videos. Of course, I'm going to be talking about the situation with Nice Bus. That's going to continue. And I want to, again, I really don't want to get into this political stuff too much, because this was an election, because a lot of these elections affect the issues that I do talk about, like the environment. And I'm putting this in here to show you how the violence from the illegals, and why I'm annoyed with our president, because he said he was going to get rid of the gangs, get rid of the illegals, and it affects the environment because our parks are not safe. It's been in the news recently here on Long Island that they've found bodies in the woods over here, in this area right here. If we go ahead and put this in here, you'll see that this is a preserved forested area over here between Freeport and American. They found murder victims. The murders probably took place in these woods from MS-13. And they also found, this is all in the past month here, they found bodies in Cow Meadow Park, which is over here. So if I can switch it to this, you'll see this is Cow Meadow Park over here, which is a preserve as well. And then most noticeable, of course, the one that's talked about is the Massapequa Preserve, because, it's Massapequa. It shouldn't happen in Massapequa. Well, no one is immune from the violence that these gangs are bringing and these illegals are bringing. They didn't say exactly where they found the body, but they found a body in Massapequa Park. That case. That got a lot of press. And then they also found one, this is one of the recent ones that they found in Baldwin.
this area right here. They found bodies around this lake right here. So this is violence is going into the woods. And when you have an open borders policy, whether you're lying about it, like our president, or whether you have somebody elected like Phil Murphy, this kind of violence is going to spread. And this is what the illegal aliens bring. All right, so it affects our environment because our parks become unsafe places. All right?
And like, you know, basically everything on Long Island is interconnected to the politics of other places. So because New York City re-elected Bill DeBlasio, we're going to continue to see this influx of people from New York City moving out here and making things more expensive and trying to... The last thing I'm going to talk about is this major development that they want to build right here, about 3 miles north of this preserve at the Pilgrim property, that is Heartland Town Center. And that is going to be a huge disaster. The traffic, the impact on the environment will be huge, and you know, it needs to be stopped. All right, what it's going to do is it's going to bring in more people and make it even more expensive to live here. He says we're going to make it cheaper. No, it's going to make it more expensive. The guy who you want to really reinvigorate, go into the this is Brentwood is like a mile east of here. It's full of crime, full of illegals. Why don't you do something and revitalize that area instead of knocking down more trees and building on open space? All right. Instead, you just want to build another project that's going to result in more congestion, more pollution, more problems we don't need right now here on Long Island. And that's something I'm going to continue to talk about. So, in closing, I'm going to continue to talk about, you know, the Pine Barrens, of course, show you the beauty of the Pine Barrens, talk about what's going on in the Pine Barrens. I'm going to continue to talk about the public transportation problems we have here on Long Island and talk about the corruption that needs to be exposed. And I think that with the changes that happened on Election Day, I'm hoping that we can finally get rid of some of this corruption here on Long Island and get rid of Transdev, bring MTA back, and do something about stopping the loss of our Pine Barrens. And that is all I have to say in this video. Take care.